Hello everybody, we're back. We're working with Excel 2016 and we're working in Module 2, which is working with formulas and functions. This is Part 2 and we're beginning at Step 6 on page Excel 32, and we're going to actually copy some information in cell A14 and we're going to copy it down to cell A21, but we're going to use a different method. So this time we're going to hold the control key down until our pointer changes to what it looks like right now. So it's going to be a like an arrow with a little plus sign to the upper right. So we're going to drag down to A21 and drop. So that's another way that you can we've learned to copy information from a cell. Okay, next we're going to click into the cell and let's go up to the formula bar, and just to the right of the 2, we're at step 7 and we're going to backspace and we're going to type a 3, and then we're going to use the check mark to use enter to accept what we've just typed. Okay, then we're going to move to step 8 and we're going to click in cell B21 and we're going to type an equal, and then we're going to click in cell B12 and we're going to then type in an asterisk and 0.13. Okay, let me say that again. I don't think I said it right, but okay, we're going to type in an equal, then we're going to select B12, cell B12, then we're going to type in an asterisk and 1.3. We're going to type that in. So this is going to be our formula. So we're going to multiply the information, the data we have in cell B12 by 1.3. Then we'll use the enter button in the formula bar to accept. Okay, and we want to save our work at this point, and we want to check out what we have on the opposite page and the figures. Then we're going to move to the next page, which is Excel 34, and it begins talking a bit about using relative references and absolute references. So we're getting ready to work with those two things. When you key in a formula, you can set it to change as you move and use autofill, for example. It will autofill and the formula will change and alter in reference to the column you're in, and also you could use it in reference to the row you're in. So if you autofill across, it's going to change according to the column you're in. So your formula changes. For example, in column B, it's going to change. When you get over to column E, it's going to be relative to column E. So you can see that actually in the formula that's changed. So let's take a peep again at that again. So we're in column B, and then as you autofill across, that's going to change, and then it's going to be, the formula is going to change to something that's relative to column E. That same principle will apply when you autofill down in rows or up in rows, and it will change according to which row you're in. But let's say, for example, you wanted it to stay the same in case you wanted to use a field that's just sitting in one place, and you didn't want it to shift around. You just wanted to keep using that same field in that same one cell. Well, there's a way to do that. You can freeze it with the auto cell reference, and we're going to learn how to do that. There's one more cell reference that you can learn a little bit about. We're not going to actually do it in this particular assignment, but there's a little bit about it on the bottom of the next page, which is called using a mixed reference. And basically that's part of your formula has the absolute cell reference, and part of your formula will have the relative cell reference, is what they're talking about. Okay, let's move over to the next page, which is going to be Excel 36. All right, so step 1 in up at the top of Excel 36, page Excel 36, we're going to use the copy button in the clipboard group and click into cell B21. So we're going to use copy, and then we're going to click in cell C21, and we're going to use the paste button. So you can see that this is another way to paste a formula or create a formula. Another way other than autofill, you can actually paste it in, and this is actually relative to the column we're in, because you can see we're in column C, so it's relative to that column. Next, we're going to choose to drag the fill through E21. So we're going to drag through E21. So we'll have that formula in through E21, and again, it's moving relative to that particular column. Okay. Next, we're going to click in cell F4. So in F4, we're going to use the auto sum button in the editing group. And we're going to use the enter button on the formula bar to accept. Okay. And then we want to use the copy in clipboard group. And then we're going to select range F5 through F6. So we're going to F5 through F6. Then we're going to click paste. Okay, so let's take a look and see what we have in here. So here we have this moved the formula in reference to that particular row. So let's come and move down. And this formula is in reference to the row it's sitting in. It's because it's sitting in row 6. So that's correct for that. Okay. Next, we're going to be working with a different method of filling, and we're going to select F6 through F11. So F6 to F11. We're going to come up to the editing group under the home tab, and we're going to find the fill icon in there, and we're going to choose from the drop down list, we're going to choose down. So we're going to fill down. Okay. We want to now save our work, and we're going to check what we have at the opposite page, and we're going to move to the next page, which is going to be Excel 38. And we're going to move up to the top at step 1 and click in cell G1. So here's G1, and we're going to type the word change and press enter. So the enter key. Then we're going to type 1.1, and we're going to again press the enter key. We're going to click in cell H3, and we're going to type what if question mark. And press enter. And then in cell H4, which should be where we are, we're going to use equal, and then we're going to click in cell F4, and then we're going to type an asterisk, because we're going to multiply it times cell G2. So this is G2. And then we're going to choose the enter button to accept. Okay, in the formula bar. Next, we're going to drag the fill handle from H4 through to H11. Okay, well, it looks like something happened. What went wrong? Well, let's check it out. So we are using this formula looks good. Looks like we moved relative to that particular row, but there's no data in there for us to use. We really meant for it to continue to remain up at G2. Okay, so next we're going to click in cell H4. So we're going to come back up here, H4, and we're going to click F2 key to edit. So we're going to use the F2 key to edit. And then we're going to choose the F4 key to activate our absolute reference. So F4 key, and notice what it does. It puts $signs in front of the column and in front of the row. So this is going to freeze this the cell G2 and will not allow it to change as our formula gets copied down. Okay, with that we're going to use the check to accept. Then we're going to fill down through from H4 through to H11. Okay, so this looks like this cell absolute reference is going to work for our formula. So now let's just double check and see what that really looks like. So it keeps that and freezes that in that one cell, which is G2, and allows us to continue to use that formula as we wish to use it. Okay. Okay, we're going to click in cell G2, and we're going to change it to 1.2. So this is a quick way for us to double check and see what difference some particular calculation would have and what will be the outcome. We're going to save our work. And now we're going to move over after checking our figures and take a look at page Excel 40. Up at the top is step 1. We're going to click in cell B14. And we're going to place our pointer just to the right of the equals in the, okay, and we're going to start typing round, but we're going to just type RO, and then you should see round as an option from our functions. Then we're going to double click on round, and then we're going to use the keyboard key end and move to the end of that formula. And we're going to type in comma and a 0 and a close parentheses. So it's step 4, and then we're going to use the check mark enter to accept that formula. We want to make sure also that this formula is copied through C14 through E14. To round off that number. We're going to scroll down so that row 25 is visible, and then you want to type your name in and use the check mark enter in the formula bar to accept, save your work, and submit this file for your assignment. More later in Module 3.